So very good evening people. So we are going to start the session today. So what we are going to learn is, we have 5 sections. So one will be numerical ability, reasoning ability, verbal ability, and then programming logic, and the last part is coding, right? So with past 4 days we have learned all these things. So today what we are going to learn is, we are going to learn coding parts, right? So here first coding. So problem statement is here. So horticulture have several great persons since time is immemorial, and King Vikramaditya Navaratnas belongs to this ilk. Right. So they are named in the following sloga. Among these, Varramira was an astrologer of eminence, and his book Bharat Jatak is reckoned as the ultimate authority in the astrology. He was once talking with Amarasima. Another gem was among the Navaratnas, and the author of Sanskrit thesaurus Amarakosha. Right, just go through for 1 minute. I'll show the next. So they, what they will be given is, they will be giving the code, and you need to find all the logics, and you need to write the code for among all the questions, right? So what you're going to do is, you can write the code in Java, C or C++ or Python or Perl language, right? So they are hiring these developers. So whatever language you are familiar with, you can write it. Here I have used my C++ language, right? So this is your question. Yes, come on. Yes, here you need to find the logic and tell me the logic, right? Amarasima wanted to know the final position of the person who started from the origin 0 and 0 and travels per a following scheme. So he first turns and travels 10 units of difference, and his second turn is upward for 20 units, and third turn is to the left for 30 units, and fourth turn is the downward for 40 units, and fifth turn is to the right again for 50 units. And thus he travels every time, increasing the travel distance, right? So this is your next set of question is, go through for 1 minute. I'll show you the input output. You need to tell the logics, right? I'll show you the input output. You need to tell the logics. Yes. So here's your next slide. So sample input is 3 and output is minus 20, 20, and sample output is input is 4 and output is minus 20, 20. Yes. Think the logic and tell me the logic, ma. Yes, tell me the logic. Yes. Tell me the logic. Yes, come on, people. Yes. Tell me the logic, da. Show question screen again. Yeah. So this is your question screen. So just go through the question. Yes. Just think what is the logic. Take your time for, I'll give you 5 minutes time for thinking the logic. Then I will tell you the logic, right? So here's your input is number of steps and output found to be coordinates. Super, Shreyas. So here is your remaining question. Superb, Shreyas. So the input will be number of steps you are having, and your output should be, you should find the coordinates of the particular graph. So imagine this is a graph, and you will be having x-axis and y-axis, right? And also you will be having positive x-axis and negative y-axis will be there, right? So if you are using your positive x-axis, means what you should do is, you should subtract the value from minus 10, And then if you are moving to the positive y-axis, you should add the value that is plus 10, right? So next, if you're moving to the y-axis means, if it is the negative y-axis means you should define the minus 20. And if you are passing the positive y-axis means you will be having plus 20, right? So this is your code. So I'm just having integer n. So I'm just finding first r, right? So I have used my switch cases. So inside my switch case, I'm just while loop I'm using. So again and again, I need to find the steps, right? So if it is a right side direction means, that is x-axis means, I'm just adding the value of 10, right? If it is that is right side direction, if it is the upside direction, that is y-axis means, I'm using plus 20, that is positive y-axis. If the case is L means, what I'm doing is I'm doing minus 10, that is my negative x-axis. If the case is D means, that is the downwards direction means, I'm using the negative y-axis, that is minus 20, right? So these are all the values we are using. So again and again the while loop will be executed. Why? Because again and again they are turning this distance and they are traveling again and again, right? So what will happen here is, I'm just passing again and again value inside my while loop, and my while loop condition is always true until it becomes 0, right? So if it is a right direction, moving right side means, so again then I'm moving to the upward direction, so again upward direction will be passing. And then if I'm turning the left side direction, the value 20 will be added. Why? Because it is a positive y-axis. So you need to find the coordinates. Have you understood, ma? Just make a note of this code. Just make a note of this. Very simple code, ma. I'm just finding the coordinates with my positive y-axis and negative y-axis with the help of positive x-axis and negative x-axis. Right, so here's your next steps. Yes. Do you want to show me the code again, ma? Do I want to show the code again? Yes or no? Do I want to show the code again? Or else shall we move to the next question? Yeah. So this is your code, ma. I'm just finding the coordinates with my directions. I'm passing all the directions inside my while loop using my switch cases. That's it. Come on, note down. So here's your next. Right? Yes. Shall we move to the next question? One programming language has the following keyword that we should not use as identifiers, right? So here many keywords are there. So in this program, you need to find which is a keyword or not. So differ is a keyword and while is not a keyword, right? So I have given the list of keywords. From that list, if you are giving any keywords means you should print your keywords. Yes, come on, just tell me the logic. Just people just type it the logic alone, how to find the how to write the code for this. Just type the logic alone, how to write the code for this. So what are all the steps we need to use for this? Can you type it and send me the chat box? What is the logic for this question and how can we solve this? What is the logic for this question and how can we solve this? Yes. How can you solve this, ma? Come on, people. Yes. We have to store the keywords in character array. Super. Keeping all strings in array and then compare each given word with your array of strings. Super. Then yes. Yes, so here's your code. Actually, so I have created my 2D array, which in the form of I'm just storing break, case, continue, each and keyword there, right? I'm just giving the word, I'm using my character input, and then I'm initializing my flag is equal to 0, right? So, and then again, I'm getting the input for the particular input, that is, which we need to check the string, right? So inside my for loop, I'm just using my compare function, that is strcmp. If you are using the string built-in function, you need to use the header file called string.h, right? So strcmp, if you are giving the input and each and every value inside your that is inside your character array, I'm checking with each and every value. If that is 0 means your flag value will be changed as 1, right? Or and I'm using my break statements, automatically it comes out of your loop, right? So if the flag value is 1 means it is a keyword. If your flag value is not equal to 1 means it will give you the it is not a keyword, right? So just I'm created my 2D array. With the help of 2D array, I'm assigning each and every values, and then I'm getting my input inside my for loop. I have used my compare function, and if you're using a string built-in function, you need to use your string.h, and with the help of each and every value, I'm just comparing everything. If the comparison takes place means your value will be 0. If that condition is true, I'm changing the flag value as 1, and I'm just breaking the loop, that is it will comes out of your loop. If your flag value is equal to 1 means yes, that is a keyword, or else it is not a keyword, right? Yes, just make a note of this. Just make a note of this. Can we create? Yes, you can create the single array also. You can create the single dimensional array also. Just make a note of it. Yeah, that's great. Note it. Yeah. Why here we used multi-dimensional array? You can use anything. I have created 2-dimensional array for comparing each and every value inside my array. That's it. No issues. You can also create your array. I'm just storing each and every keyword inside my array. That's it. or else you can initialize for each and every variable and you can also use it. You can initialize each and every keyword and each and every variable and you can also use it. So here's your next question. So given a maximum of 100 digits as input, find the difference between the sum of odd position and even position digits. So 4, 5, 6, 7 is there. So odd position will be 4 and 6 and even position will be 7 and 5, right? So the odd position sum is 6 and 4 is 10. An even position, the value is 7 and 5 is 12. So 12 minus 10 will be 2, right? So this is your logic. Can you tell me how can we solve this? Yes, how can we solve this? Come on, people. Tell me the steps. How can we solve this easily? You need to find the even position, sum of even position, and sum of odd numbers, and then you need to subtract both of them, right? Yes, come on. Yes, tell me the steps. So we can break the number and store it in array. Super, Rachita. Superb, Rachita. Superb, Madhumita. Right? So this is your code actually. So for initialize the odd sum and an even sum difference is equal to 0, then we can check for even. Superb. So what happens here is, say A equal to 0, B equal to 0, I'm initializing, right? So A for odd or even and B for odd or even. So what will happen here is, so I have initialized my character number to store the multiple number and C in num I'm giving. So I'm just calculating the length of the number and storing it in the value n, right? So if I equal to 0, I means I'm checking. Yes, difference is equal to 0. Da. I'm checking if the I value is equal to 0 means I'm checking with the odd even position, or else I'm checking with the odd position, right? And I'm just finding the difference between the particular number. And then I'm changing the absolute mean. C in means input statement. C in means we are getting the input and C++, right? So inside here, if I'm just calculating my even numbers, and then inside my else part, I'm just calculating the odd position numbers and I'm adding those things, right? And then in C out, at last I'm finding the A and B difference. That's it, right? Yes, just go through the code, ma. Yes, minus 48 is nothing but ASCII value of 0. Wait a sec. Da. So ASCII value for 48 is 0 is ASCII value. 48 is nothing but 0 is ASCII value. Okay, let's just note down the code. Yes, so first inside your if position, I'm just calculating the even number position. Inside my else part, I'm calculating the odd number position, right? So after that, I'm just subtracting and printing the value. That's it. Right. So here's your next slide. Right. So here's your next slide. So if it was one of the places where people need to get their provisions only through fair price ration shops, as the elder had domestic and official work to attend to, their wards were asked to buy the items from these shops. Needless to say, there was a long queue of boys and girls. To minimize the tedium of standing in the serpentine queue, the kids were given mints. I went to the last boy in the queue and asked him how many mints he has. He said that number of mints he has is one less than the sum of all mints of kids standing before him in the queue. So I went to the penultimate kid to know how many mints he has. Yes, just go through the question. Da. Yes, just go through the question. Right. Right. So here's your next slide. So she said that if I add all the mints of kids before her and subtract from one from it, it results the equals the mints she has. It seemed to be the uniform response from everyone. So I went to the boy in the head of queue, consoling myself that he would not given the same response as others. He said, I have 4 mints. So given the number of first kid mints, n, and the length of the queue as input, write the program to display the total number of mints with all the kids. Yes, go through this page. I will share you the next page now. So here's your next slide. So sample input is 4. 4 is the number of mints and 2 queues are queue number is 2 and your sample output is 7. Just tell me the logic and tell me the steps how to solve this. Yes, people, tell me the steps. Yes, come on, people. Yes, tell me the logic and tell me how to solve this, ma. So you have the logic is given in the question itself, right? So add all the I have heard all the means, and if I subtract one means, I will get the result what the person is having, how many means, right? Yes, tell me the logic da. So here itself the logic is given da. Just see it and type in the chat box. Yes. Yes, people. Come on, people. So here's your code, ma. This is a very simple code. I'm just adding all the numbers and then subtracting one from them. Then I will get how many men this child is having, right? So I'm just giving S and N and I'm initializing the sum is equal to 0. And then I'm giving the inputs of S and N. And then I'm creating my array. And I'm just creating the array value as 0. So inside your for loop, I'm just adding all the values and I'm subtracting one from it, right? So then at last I'm printing the sum, so you will get the total number of months what the children is having, right? So this is your answer. Yes, come on, make a note of it. So, so this is the answer for this particular code. This is the answer for this particular question, right? I'm just adding each and everything inside my array values, and then I'm just subtracting the value from the subtracting one from the particular value, right? So this will be your answer. Yes, come on, make a note of it. So here's your next code, ma. So 20 or not 20. So given a positive pair of integers m and n, and m is less than n, 0 is less than m, and m is less than 999. So write a program to smartfx zeros while printing the numbers 0 to n. Sorry, m to n, right? So your sample input will be 5 and 10, and your values are 0, 5, 0, 6, 0, 7, 0, 8, 0, 9, and 10. So here's your second sample input. So if you're having the 9 means you should print, if you're giving the values up to 100 means, so you should print the 2 zeros before the values. If you're printing with the 110 means you can print only 1 0. If the element is not having any zeros at the suffix means, you just print the values as it is. So can you tell me the logic how to solve this? Can you tell me the steps? Yes, people. So tell me the logic for this. Tell me. So putting ASCII value condition of 0 and incrementing till it reaches your second output. Super, people. Yes. So here's your code. So here I'm having up value and low value, right? That is m value and n value. So starting from your that is starting from your high value with your low value, you will be giving an inputs, right? So up to this, you need to compare everything. So up greater than is equal to 100 means you should give three integers you want to print and only 10 you will be having, right? So then inside your else part, if the number is greater than 10 means you should print your two-digit number. If nothing is there means you can print your values directly. Yes. So up value and low value, if the value is greater than 100 means you can directly give the, that is you can directly print the three-digit values with the help of percentage 03. If it is greater than 10 means you can print your values. You can print your values with the two-digit numbers, that is 0, 2D. And if nothing is there means you can print the value directly with 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is your code. Come on, note down this. So here's your next code. So given a maximum of 03 will not work three times. It is used to print three digits. Will not work three times. It is used to print the three-digit numbers. And 0 will be printed as well as three-digit, including the 0, three-digit value will be printed. Right. So next. So given the maximum of 4 digit to the base, 17, 10 of A, 11 of B, and 12 of C, and 16 of G as input, then you should output its decimal value. Can you tell me this logic? How to solve this particular question? Yes, tell me the logic for this particular question. So question is sweet 17. Yes, can you tell me the logic for this particular question? Yes. Tell me, so this is like your hexadecimal value. So this is like calculating the hexadecimal value, right? Yes. Come on. So this is like, so this is like the hexadecimal part, right? So just what I have given is, so I'm just having hexadecimal, I'm just initializing the hexadecimal value, and then I'm just initializing each and every value, and then I'm initializing the decimal value is equal to 0, right? And then I'm just giving the hexadecimal value, then I'm just finding the length of the particular number, then I'm decrementing the particular value, right? So here what I have given is, so inside my for loop, I'm just checking with up to it is null character. So if it is null, I'm checking if the character is greater than 0 and less than 9 means the value should be minus 48. So 48 is nothing but it is the ASCII value of 0, right? So then hexadecimal of A, that is if the value is greater than A and less than G means your value should be subtracted from 97 and plus 10. That is 97 is nothing but it is the ASCII value of A, right? So next. So next is again I'm checking with capital A to up to capital G. So capital A's ASCII value is 65. So that 65 will be adding that value, and then at the last we need to find the particular value. So next we need to calculate, we need to add all the values and you need to calculate the power of the value. Right? So and then at last I'm printing my decimal value alone. So here hexadecimal is there and long decimal I'm having. So after this, I'm just comparing with each and every value, and then I'm just calculating, subtracting all the things with your ASCII values. Then you will get, then you should calculate your power, then you will get your decimal number, right? Just make a note of it. Today your session is over.